President Donald Trump visited North Carolina in the wake of Hurricane Helene under the Biden administration. The storm had left a trail of destruction in its wake. Homes were destroyed, businesses were shuttered, lives were turned upside down. Trump's visit was a show of support for the people of North Carolina. President Trump did not hold back his grievances with the government's response to the natural disaster. Trump, never one to mince words, did not hold back in his assessment of the situation. He declared that the government had failed the people of North Carolina. His words were met with a mixture of applause and boos from the crowd. Some people agreed with his assessment. They felt like the government had been slow to respond to the disaster. Others felt like he was using the tragedy to score political points. "Our government failed," Trump declared, his voice booming across the assembled crowd. He pointed to the debris-strewn streets. He gestured towards the damaged homes. He argued that the government's response to Hurricane Helene had been too little, too late. He claimed that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, was slow and inefficient. He said that they were more concerned with bureaucracy than with helping people in need. Trump's words resonated with some in the crowd. They had seen firsthand the slow pace of the government's response. They had waited in long lines for assistance. They had struggled to navigate the bureaucratic maze of FEMA. For these people, Trump's words were a validation of their own experiences. Trump didn't stop at criticizing the government's response. He went a step further and called for FEMA to be abolished entirely. "We don't need FEMA," he declared. "What we need is for the government to get out of the way and let the people help themselves." His words were met with a mixture of shock and disbelief. FEMA, for all its faults, is the agency responsible for coordinating disaster relief efforts. It is the agency that provides food, water, and shelter to people who have lost everything. To suggest that it should be abolished seemed reckless and irresponsible. Even some of Trump's most ardent supporters were left scratching their heads. Amidst the political posturing and the partisan bickering, it was easy to lose sight of the human cost of Hurricane Helene. For the people of North Carolina, the storm was not a political football. It was a life-altering event that had left them reeling. Sarah Miller, a single mother of two, was one of the many people whose lives were upended by Hurricane Helene. Her home was destroyed by the storm, and she and her children were forced to evacuate. "It feels like my life has been put on hold," she said, her voice filled with a mixture of sadness and frustration. "I don't know where we're going to live or how we're going to rebuild our lives." Her story was not unique, as thousands of people across North Carolina are facing the same uncertain future. We are hoping and praying the people of North Carolina can somehow recover soon.